Hi, fifth graders. Today we're looking at lesson 112, real world problems. All right, so we're going to be reading problems and we're going to be asked to figure out the equation and answer, and then we're going to check for whether or not our answer is reasonable. So for this part, we're just going to make an educated guess to see if our math was correct. Now with word problems, as you can see, I always like to draw pictures. And the reason I do that is so that I can visualize the problem to make sure that I know I'm doing the right procedure. So for this one, I read the problem and I wrote it out. So the beach is 7 1/3 miles from Johanna's house. So over here, that J is Johanna's house, and the B over here, you can imagine, is the beach. So Johanna walks part of the way. So that is this purple line. Now it doesn't really give me a number, so I'm just going to put a question mark. Then she takes the bus, that's my awesome orange bus right there, the remaining 5 7/10 miles. So I write that number here, 5 7/10. My question here is, how far does she walk? So I have my total, 7 1/3 miles. I have the bus ride, 5 7/10. I am looking for the question mark. So this is where we're going to have to figure out, do I add, multiply, subtract, divide? So I'm looking for total distance, and I have part of it done for me already, the bus route, and I have my total. So if you think about it, it's blank plus 5 7/10 equals 7 1/3. Because I already have my answer here. But I don't know my addition symbol. I don't know what's before that because I don't know how far she walks. So I'm going to flip this and I'm going to do subtraction. So I'm going to take my answer. I'm going to subtract this part of the problem to get my question mark. All right, so I wrote this problem out, 7 1/3 minus 5 7/10. And I'm looking for the distance that Johanna walked before she got on the bus. So I'm going to do my fraction part first, 1/3 minus 7/10. So as I started solving this problem using my butterfly method, I did 3 times 10 is 30, and I crisscross multiplied, and I got 10 and 21. I ran into a problem, however, as I cannot subtract 21 from 10. I need to make this number bigger. So I'm going to need to pause, and I'm going to need to borrow from my 7. And I'm going to reset up my problem once I've borrowed. All right, so now I'm back to my butterfly method. I borrowed. So I borrowed 1 whole, so I did 1/3 plus 3/3, I got 4/3. Now I can crisscross multiply. I'd get 40 minus that 21 to give me 19/30. Don't forget, you always have to remember to subtract your whole numbers. So my answer would be, so that's my equation. My answer would be 1 mile and 19/30. Now I got to check to see if it's reasonable. Well, if I round and I estimate these two, I'm just going to round down. So I have 7 total. And I'm going to say the bus rounds up to 6. Remember estimating from yesterday? If I do 7 minus 6, is it going to give me a close answer to 1 and 19/3? Yes, it will. It's going to give me 1. And if I actually plug this back in, if I plug my answer back into this first equation, I should get an answer of 7 1/3. So that might be a smart idea to check your answer by putting in this total and adding these two fractions together to see if you'd get 7 1/3. Just always make sure to simplify, check your answers at the end, and make sure, if you struggle, to draw it out. All right, thanks for watching.